Move the camera back here, sorry. All right, so this is video 2, part 2, part 1 of robot 2, whatever you want to call it. We don't really care. So this one here is the one that's going to get the new toggle button, 18 gauge cable. This is a 12 volt system, so I would recommend at least an 18 gauge cable. You're just going to use 2 conductors out of it. For some reason this is black and white, which is fine. Normally I just do red and black. So you're going to need a little short chunk, 18 gauge cable, 2 conductor. On this particular one we're going to repair the stop position switch. We're going to put the toggler in. We're putting the keystone jack in. We're terminating an 8-pin 8-conductor or a mod end. You're going to need some spade connectors for 18 gauge cable. And then you're going to need all these tools. We're going to square it up when we're done. You need a drill with a step bit. You need a knife, an old knife, new knife, doesn't matter. Utility knife, box cutter, whatever you want to use, because you're going to square up a rectangle hole. You're going to need wire strippers. These are the crimps that I use for the spade connections. Just a pair of cutters. You're going to need a 110 punch down. Klein, if you want to sponsor this video. I'm teasing. But yeah, get this Klein screwdriver. It's amazing. You're going to need a pair of cutters or snips. I think I already showed them in there. You need a pair of crimpers for the 8-pin 8-conductor or the mod end. So anyway, that's all the parts you're going to need. This is a rather extensive, not easy to do upgrade, but if you get an electronics background, it's not that bad. If you don't, I would be careful about doing this. This video is just more educational. It's not necessarily recommended, and it may, in fact, violate your agreement or your warranty, I should say, with the manufacturer. So you gotta be careful. Just don't go do stuff just to do stuff. But if you've got a little bit of understanding on what to do with this, then you'll be just fine. So over here I noticed that the stop switch is damaged. It's also moving around a good chunk. It's quite damaged, it's all smashed up. So what it does, it gives us our false card stack heights. So when you overload your card piles out front here, and it can't detect the stacks quite right, it'll go down, come back up, and when it comes back up, it'll just shear this stuff right off. So you gotta be careful about loading too many cards in the pockets. Anyway, we're gonna get to this. Here's the cord. Got the power all disconnected. And that comes out of the hole here at the bottom. I don't like that. We're gonna make a new hole. In fact, we're gonna route this through the back. So if you notice, over here in the corner, there's nothing going in there. So I'm going to poke a small hole there. And I'm going to do it on the other robot too, on a future upgrade. I didn't do it this time because I was only planning to do it to one robot. But we're going to do it to this one as well, because I like all my cords and shit on the back. I can't stand it coming out the front. I think it looks dumb. So what we're looking for is just above this screw. If you look on the back side, there's like a little, I don't know, like a L or a W bracket. So we're going to go right in above that. And you're not going to go too deep, and you're not going to go too large. All you want to do is pass that power through there. And then same thing on the back. There's like a little W bracket for holding on this plastic. Just go right above it, not too hard. Kind of line it up. Again, not too deep, not too large. This is where this little step bit comes in handy. It's got a lot of settings, and I only went to like maybe here. Alright, so we're done with that bit for a minute. So, what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to take this transformer and route it through the back. And here's one thing I want you to pay attention to as you're doing this. So this is booting up this card here. I don't know if you can quite see it. Alright, maybe you can. It's booting this up right here. So I normally just take a picture of how it's connected. And this is red and white. It says 12 volt and ground. So it looks like ground they're using is white, 12 volt is red. This is a push connector on this, so all you do is push and the conductors come right out. Pretty simple. I'll show you here. It's already pre-stripped and everything. So again, white is ground, red was your 12 volt. So you get kind of a long cord here. I don't know, maybe 36, 39 inches here. Oh shit, one thing I didn't think of is you got a barrel here. So you want to make that hole at least that big. So we're going to open that up just a tad more to get that through. For some reason I thought that was a slick cord, meaning, yeah, I thought that was slick, just meaning it was the same diameter all the way down through. I should have paid more attention, but that's all right. We're gonna open it up a little bit more, and it's fine because you got plenty of room. It's not going to ruin anything. And again, have sharp bits. It helps. Okay. And like I said before, we're going to vacuum everything when we're done anyway. And probably not much bigger than that barrel. I think it's still going to go up a couple more bits or steps. That bit, it's junk. I mean, here we go. We got a better one. That's why I like having brand new bits at the start of a project. So we're going to open it up. Okay. Go on the inside, just kind of we're all good. Make sure you're clear of everything, and I just test it. Make sure it's going to pass. It will not, so we're going up one more size. Okay. Carefully clean out both sides. Okay, done. Should pass through rather easily now. Excellent. So I just do the same thing on the back side. Just being careful. Okay. Just gonna clean it up. Okay. Now we'll pass through and everything will be nice. Because the other thing I might do too is strap the power pack with a power pack holder right to the back eventually, so that that's up off the floor. But for now, we're just going to route this through. And here's where you're going to want to interrupt it. So, with your panel cover on, kinda. When I say on, oh, the other thing is too is just unplug. If you have it plugged to the face, take the Ethernet cord off, because we're going to modify this too. So for now, right about there. You want your cover kind of mocked up, because what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to kind of mark two holes. One is for your power toggle, because your cord is long enough to make it to this side only, so you want to keep the slack right here. And secondly, the Ethernet jack can go right here as well. However, there's some equipment immediately behind this. You got to be careful. You don't want to go too deep and hit it and destroy your air pump. So I'm going to see if I can turn it. I'm going to show you the side a little bit here. Alright, so it's a little ways off. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So you got some room to play with here. And there's no equipment on the inside of the hood here. So you're good. Just be careful and be mindful that you're not getting into the mechanics of the air pump. Now I think on this second generation model, they kind of moved it over. I think the first one was a lot closer, so that's why I was saying you gotta be careful. Anyway, because I already have one done, I like my shit to match as much as possible. So I'm gonna take a quick measurement of this and I'll be right back. So I'm going to match up from the bottom. We're looking at 4 to the center and 5 3/4 to the center of the toggle button. So 4. I had a Sharpie. Probably wouldn't appear very well, so now I'm looking for a pencil, something. Oh, here we go. Here's a Sharpie. So up on this hood, oh, we want to know the depth. So it is approximately 1.5 in, 1.5 in. So over here, looking for 4 up. Oops, if I had 3 arms, this would be perfect. So we're looking for 4. And then, what did I say? 6, 5.5, 5 3/4, 5 3/4. Damn, I can't remember how to do it. There we go. So we got 4. And then we got 5 3/4. So there we go, there's our buttons. And then we're looking for 1.5 in. Oh, my leg's getting old. I can barely do shit anymore. Alright. 1.5 in. 1.5 in. So there's our new holes. And I just put a quick little X mark on them so I know that that is the center, not the previous mark. Okay, so I drilled those out. And remember, the bottom one's going to be squared a little bit. And again, I lost my cover. Okay, there it is. So we'll start with the small bit. Just kind of open it up. I mean, we're not trying to make this hole too big. We just want to get started. Just be super careful. Don't drill into your hand and dumb shit like that. So just hold it up. Go slow. Okay. I'll open that up here in a minute. Okay. There's going to be quite a bit of plastic debris, don't worry about it. We'll clean all that up. Alright, so now what I want to do, we want to find the inside diameter of the back of this push button. That's what you're looking for, because you want these tabs to be able to allow it to snap in and click and lock from behind and not be all blown out. So normally what I'll do is I'll just measure it and just roughly guess here. So that one probably is not going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. And I'll just measure that. That's about 3/4 of an inch, which is perfect because I have a 3/4 inch right here, and that's as big as it will get. So that's your top button. That's the toggle button that we're going to be putting in. That's 3/4 inch. So don't make your other one that big yet. We're going to measure it here in a minute. Okay. Beautiful hole. And again, clean the backside, because sometimes what happens is the plastic gets heated up and it just stretches and doesn't quite allow you to open it all the way up. So you can clean it up. Sometimes I'll just take the edge of a snip or something like that, just kind of get in there and just kind of scrape away at it. That is, if I can get the angle. Alright, we're all cleaned up. We're going to vacuum all this stuff up here in a minute. It's pretty dirty in here, as it should be. It's been a while since I've been in there. Alright, so you can kind of test fit it, or dry fit. If that ain't big enough, you can go up one more size. It might not be big enough. Alright, so it's bigger than 3/4, 7/8. I have another bit. I hope I do. So I have another one, and it looks like 3/4 is not on here. So it might be 11/16 might be the correct actual hole size. We're going to find out. Again, Harbor Freight has these. You can get them, they're pretty cheap. Okay, the hole size is now 11/16, not 3/4. Clean up the back side. That way nothing hangs up as you go to install that button. Okay. Test fit. Let's see. You've got your on and off here, and I got mine with the line up and with the O on. So that's the on position, and that's the off position. So I'm going to install it correctly. Alright, that fits beautifully. 11/16 pops right in. Alright, we're done with that one for a moment. But if you wanted to, and you're kind of impatient or whatever, and you like to do one thing at a time, you could go ahead and put on your space connectors and connect all that up. But you're going to need this cable split out first. So let me get a few of this stripped out. I don't really need the shield or the grain. This is like, I don't know, not speaker wire, but maybe it was, I don't know, it was off the back of my work truck, and I needed a little chunk. So anyway, I just throw shit on the floor, so I'm in a hurry. The other thing I like to do is, if it doesn't have enough twist in it or whatever, I'll just run it through the chuck of a drill, give it a good twist. Nice little appearance, so it doesn't look all, doesn't look like horse shit. There we go, that's our favorite word today, horse shit. Oh, it is gray and it is white, not black and white. I'll use white for positive, or will I? I'll use white for negative, since they already had that in the factory. And see how it starts to untwist and untangle already. We're going to give it a few more twists. Tighten it up just a little bit. Don't over tighten it. And how I do that is I just put it in the chuck of a drill. Like that. And I just tie one end off. Doesn't have to be anything important. It's not like we're doing 80 feet of this, so and I just tighten it up a little bit. Oops. See how it looks a little tighter? Kind of look, almost gives you like a look of a jumper. That's much better. Here, I'm going to show you. And you don't have to be that anal retentive with yours, and if you don't care about the aesthetics of shit, then you can probably just skip that step. I care. I do enough electronics, I care. So it's got a nice little braid to it. Anyway, so I always cut the end off that I was using to twist. That way it doesn't damage my conductors. And this is 18 gauge, so alright. And essentially what we're looking to do is probably the negatives together in one state connection. And what I've done before is wire nut these things together, and I'll run another one. So let me clip some more off here. And I'll just run a short piece from over here to where it's going to land. So right about there. So that's enough to get over to there. And this is my short whip to the button, because I have to just interrupt the power as it comes in here. And I'll make it about that long. And I'll pause the video because I gotta go get the beans to kind of splice that together. Alright, I'm back. I've got some beans here. Dolphins, whatever you call them. So I'm going to run my negative and my positive leg over here real quick just to get that out of the way. And I only strip back just a little. You don't want too much being exposed. You don't want to give it the ability to arc on each other back over here. So again, just look at your connector here. You want your 12 volt. And then your ground. So there's the ground. Uh-oh, it's not staying in. Okay, that is. And that is. Okay. Oh. Give it a little tug test, make sure that power don't come loose, because that'll be an intermittent pain in the ass problem down the road if you don't check that. Alright, so now we got that ran over. We already know that our gray is our 12 volt positive, and that our white is our ground. So over here I'll make the white a little bit longer as far as being stripped out. The white a little bit longer here. Oops. I'll just twist those together. And then I'm going to add this one. This is going to go up to the switch. Okay. Those three are now together. Oops. I'll just put a quick little beam on it. Crimper. Where do we go? There we go. And I put at least 2 crimps in it, that way it holds. Do a little tug test, make sure nothing comes off. Okay, on this one, I'm going to put the bean on, or the spade connector on this guy, because we're going to land this one right on the terminal. Yeah, we're going to land that right on the terminal. Sorry, just had to double check my settings here. There we go. Do a little tug test, make sure it doesn't come out. Okay, what you should have is 3 conductors left. You're going to have your hot, which you're bringing in from the wall outlet, and it's going to land, because that's what's going to get interrupted is the hot, and then your negative is going to stay on the negative terminal, and then your hot, or your 12 volt positive that's going to go out when the switch is on, that's going to land on the top terminal. Here in a minute, I'll show you. So go ahead and put spade connectors on all these, and I'll have to go out and get one more, because apparently I needed 4. Oops. Oh, I didn't need this one on. Yeah, I did. Sorry. No, I did not need that one. Sorry. We're going to take that guy off. There we go. That guy can land on there. That's the negative leg. Yeah, that was an extra. I didn't need that on there, so we'll take that guy off. There it is. Get your spade connector on. I like to push it up just a little bit to where I see the end of the conductor just past there. A little tug test, we're good. Alright, so go ahead and put that on the negative leg. And then the rest of it, you want on the positive leg. And positive, make sure, yep, it's the gray for me. Okay. Conductor's just past that window. Tug test, we're good. Okay. We should now have that button done. And that's probably the hardest one to do. And just make sure it's staying out of the way of the mechanical functionality of that air pump. Okay, that piece is now done. The next piece that we're going to work on is the Ethernet connectivity. Now, once we open up the jack here, we can get a measurement of this, because you want the measurement of the bottom of there. There's a little tooth, and then you want that clip involved. So let's take a quick measurement of it. Start with number 2. So that is roughly 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to take that hole to 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to square it off, so to speak. just gonna clean up the backside here real fast. Okay. The guy's all clean. One thing I just recommend, just kind of run it through one more time. There you go. That way it just gets rid of any little hangers. That stuff can hang you up a little bit. So, your jack is still not going to quite fit just right, but that's where your knife, shit, will come in handy. You're just going to square it up. That's all you're going to do. You're going to take a round hole and square that thing up. Okay. And what I do is just keep trying to dry fit it. You don't want to make the hole too big. And it's okay if it takes you a few minutes on this, because this is the part where you don't want to mess up, because you'll always see it, because it's on the outside now. So just take your time. Just kind of work it a few times. Some close. This is where having a utility knife is a lot easier than what I'm using, but I don't know what to do with it. I've moved and I still haven't finished unpacking everything, so, but the show must go on and we've got videos to make. Got a lot of work to catch up on here. I've been meaning to do this for over a month. So here we are. Making do with what we got. Alright, so we're just going to dry fit it. And we are super close now. So because I got the bottom too thin, I'm just going to open the top up just a tad more. Because you want that top to be able to click in. And all this is going to do is make it so you can catch, pick up your Ethernet cable without having to open the front panel and connect it to the Raspberry Pi constantly. That is rather annoying to have to open that panel every time you want to move your robot or do a wired connection. I mean, it's so bad sometimes I just would rather connect wirelessly, because I get tired of having to open the panel up. So, essentially what we're doing here today is the same thing we're going to do when it's time to do the USB. So now that it fits, we're going to terminate this. What I do is I just do a short little whip over, plenty of room. That's about all you need. I do any of you that are familiar with this, I do the standard of 568B. If you do not know what that is, I'll show you. So that's just a telephone standard from back in the day. So that's green, blue. If it's not done straight through, this will not work. So if you don't know how to do this, you might want to get a friend, or you can order a kit, a short little pass cord with a jack on it, or if you like, just message me and I'll make you one. I think I sell these for like 10 bucks when I make them. That includes shipping, so there you go. I'll ship it to you. $10, I'll ship it to you. Just let me know in the comments if you want something like that made. Same thing with the 18 gauge little whip thing, and if you want, I can get you the toggle button with all that kind of pre-made, so all you gotta do is install it. Just let me know. With a kit like that, I'd probably just do flat $20 for it. That way you get this kind of pre-wired, ready to go with the short whip over, plus the little connections, and then this will be made up for you too. And then you can watch the video and install it. Always use your dust covers too. Those little parts, a lot of people toss them. They think they're not worth anything or do anything, but they do. They actually keep your pins pinned down. They call them dust covers, but they really just retain all the connections so they can't lift off and not work. So, almost done with the front panel. I don't think we're going to do any more work inside there. Maybe a little cable management. I got some zip ties. We're gonna get some of this picked up. I mean, this has got a lot of just loose stuff everywhere, and I'm not a big fan of that. So we're gonna see what we can do. This has been making some noise a lot lately too, so I can't remember why. Maybe it's because the cords are just running all the way anywhere they want. I don't really know. But we're going to tidy it up. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Like I said, this is 568B, so you're going to need a 8-pin 8 conductor on this side. Because this side is the side that plugs into your Raspberry Pi. And it's blue, orange, green, brown. Sorry, it's not. It's orange, green, blue, brown. And I can do a video on this too if you want me to. Orange, green, blue, green. I can show you how to terminate one of these if you really want me to. But yeah, I'm here to help, so whatever you need, let me know in the comments. Okay. Alright, we are done. Let's go ahead and squeeze that guy on. Okay, we're on. So what does that do? So this is what it's going to look like. You got jack on one end, mod end on the other. So you're going to take that, you're going to stick that mod end right up in here. Find it. There it is, the other way around. And stick that mod end into the Raspberry Pi. You're going to run the other end over here. It's going to be out of the way of all the mechanics because we've already verified all that. We've already verified that this fits. So go ahead and get it snapped in. Okay, there we go. Almost. Hold on here. Probably shouldn't be using that. That will cut me if I miss. And bada bing. You hear it click? That's good sound. That's what you want. That means it's going to hold. Grab some zip ties. We got to do a little cable management here because this is a little out of hand. Like all this kind of stuff here, this will prevent you from being able to get your hood back on properly. So we'll manage this up a little. Go from there. I don't want to make it too tight. I just want it up off the bottom of this machine. I mean, this is a lot of cable here too, so let's see if I can pull some of that out. Okay, got some there. Alright, I do believe we are now up off of everything. Oops, hold on. Wish I had a can of compressed air. I'd just clean that fan out real quick, but I don't. So we're gonna skip that. Get all your plastic shrapnel out of there. Or plastic shrapnel. Get all your plastic out of there. Throw your knife on the floor. Alright. Everything's cleared. Should be able to put your panel back on. I don't believe we're doing any more work to that. I'll just start with one side first. And I start with the next side. Okay. I always hook the bottom too, just in case. Oops. Oh, see, that's why I wanted that ran through the chassis. Look at that, transformer didn't fall and hit the floor. That's one of my worries is eventually it's gonna fall, hit the floor, and no longer work. And then I'll have to buy a new 12-volt adapter for it. So, just get up underneath here, make sure none of the cables are in your path. Tighten that guy down. Apparently I'm missing one of my latches. Don't know where it went. Probably got lost during the move or something. Who knows? I don't know if there's a kit out there with these in it or something somewhere that I can find. But if I find one, I'll just probably order another one. I don't like parts missing. Okay. We are all bolted back together. Now here's where we're going to kind of dig in for some further troubleshooting. Like I already pointed out, this is smashed, that stopper switch. And we're going to move this a little closer because we can now. Let's pause this. Okay, now we're a little closer. So right here, go ahead and disconnect this guy. Looks like there was some rubbing on it anyway. You can see some discoloration here. Looks like the motor must have been going up and just rubbing on this because this isn't seated all the way. Could be part of the reason why it is gotten smashed. Probably happened when I loaded too high of a stack. The other thing too is make sure you don't use too long of screws because that is a robot that slides up and down, and that can smash this too. So yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about here. You'll have shear damage from the movement, and as you can tell, I mean that is pretty hammered. Look at that. That's supposed to be like down here. It's still a good switch, it's still intact, but I mean that's probably fixed right there. I would hang on to this in case I run out, but it's not something I want on my daily operated machine. I would rather have a brand new one on there. I have enough of them, there's no reason not to put it on there. Plus, because it's already been hit, it's moved slightly. So here's where the new one sits. Let me show you the comparison here. And you can kind of see how these tongs are all bent. Those are kind of more of a 90, and it's sitting flat on the circuit card. So these are the little things you want to pay attention to as you're doing this stuff. Looks like the screw hole on the back side of here might be a tad too long. Maybe that's what was keeping it sitting nice and flush. But anyway, this should be just like that. Yeah. There we go. You want that nice and stiff, not hitting on any of the chassis. Just kind of click it, plug this guy back in. Get you some length on this too. This is a little tight. So this is a little tight. Always like to make sure I have slack in these corners, just like I did on the last one. Oops. Just pull them from here. A little there, a little there. This can pull so tight that it creates issues for you, so just be mindful of that. And don't pry with a tool like that. I just do it just enough to get my fingers on it. There we go. And then there's a couple down in here. Again, don't pry on it because you can bend and break those conductors inside. There you go. Just one more here. Come on. Always the last one. There we go. Okay, we got a little slack now. So go back here to your corner. See how tight that one was? There we go. We got a nice curvature there. Get a couple here. But you just got to check these periodically because this machine is constantly moving. It is moving these cables and tightening things up as it goes. So, and then we're gonna square this chassis off here in a minute. So we should be good to go. Plenty of room. Get a little bit extra out of here. Okay. Now I should have extra on this. There we go, look at that. Got quite a bit of room. Just double check everything. Make sure everything's got enough room for movement. And some travel here. That's good. This motor over here is good. This motor over here has got plenty of slack. Now's a good time to kind of check your belt tension too. Check your pulley wheel back here as well. Make sure that the pulley wheel here is not leaning in. If it's leaning in, you're going to have a belt problem. This is where you're going to have to drill a hole, get a longer bolt to pass through the pulley here. So just keep an eye on those little things. Back here is the camera hole that I was talking about. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to stick the screwdriver through. This is from the factory, so this is like a, I don't know, second, third generation that has that hole in it. So you don't have to open that up any higher. That actually goes and hits the camera bracket, like what I was showing you in the previous video. Alright, I think we're done. We got Ethernet connectivity. We have 12-volt toggle switch cut off here. I've rerouted the power cable through the chassis, which I will do on the other one over there. Let me turn my camera here. And the button works. And here's what it looks like when it's all done. That's what we want. We're gonna clean this guy out with a vacuum. And there you go. Looks nice. Looks just like the other one. Spare switch. Used in the case of emergency only. And there's your new switches for those, where you can plug them in. So it's kind of cool. They come with a new harness. You can choose to use them. I don't, because I haven't had issues with my wiring harnesses yet. And I think part of it is because I keep, when I do maintenance, I keep putting a little bit of extra slack built into these. So here in a minute, we're going to level all this up. We're going to make sure the camera's good on it, which it should be. Get your cards out. Make sure all your cables clear, all the movement. And we're going to pause this. We're going to pause this real quick. You don't need to hear the vacuum. Everybody knows how to use one. Okay, we're back. Just got things picked up, cleaned up a little bit here. And we're going to move the machine back to where it was. And before we turn it on, we're going to square it up. And as we boot this one, I know I just showed you how to put the Ethernet line in so you can have it physically wired. I prefer to have mine on wireless. I have an AP sitting right next to them. Plenty of coverage. I don't have to worry about them not getting out. So anyway, I showed you that because if you have an office or your warehouse or even at home and you've got it wired and you're tired of going through the face, and you don't really need to get in here as often as you probably have to. By doing those couple pieces, and eventually I'm going to put a USB over here, so I'll connect to the Raspberry Pi and do the same thing I did with the Ethernet jack. I just haven't found a USB that is Keystone that snaps in. I will find it, and when I do, I'll share it, and I'm going to add both to this, because then I can just stick the dongle in there, and hopefully it's like 2 jacks, so if I ever have to connect like a thumb drive or something, I can do thumb drive and the dongle for a wireless keyboard and mouse. I don't really like using the whole touch screen because I can't get to the programs and behind it. So it'll load with the card screen, the magic sorter screen, and you can't really get in there without having a keyboard or mouse. Anyway, we're gonna move this. We're going to square it up, and there was something else I was going to do. I can't remember. I shouldn't have to adjust the camera, as this camera was already working. Okay, hold on, we're going to pause it. Alright, so we're going to square it up. And again, go underneath the screws. And it's slightly off. And they're squared. Lift and move it. And yeah, it's going to be a little out of the way for a minute. They're squared. Lift and move it again. And now you just got to kind of push it back. And again, you want that plunger, that suction cup kind of center. It's going to be kind of centered on that card. Alright, so plenty of movement on the cables. We should be able to turn it on. Let's see what happens. and put the cards back. We're gonna get a small stack of cards to sort real quick. And small stack, I meant Rise of Eldrazi, the whole stack. I think I can sort out all this. And then that'll finish the pile I have in the back. And I try to make the stacks even too. That way, I don't know, it's just OCD I guess. The robot's going to effectively go through all 4 piles, whether I'll mishide it or whatever. It doesn't really give 2 shits. So anyway, we're going to turn it on. And immediately we got problems. I don't see a light coming on, so one of my connections is off. Or I'm not powered up here. I'm powered up here. Alright, so one of my terminations is off here. Not very good for a trial video. It's probably just not making full contact. So what I'm going to do is slide the cable over here. I found the missing screw too, by the way. I didn't take that off, so it must have vibrated off and fell and hit the floor. So we're going to open it up. Pause the video. I put that right underneath there like that so that the panel has something to lay on, otherwise you're stuck trying to hold it, as many of you have probably already discovered. So we're going to pause the video, open it up. I just need to look at the toggle button there real quick. I'm pretty sure when I was twisting the cables together, the conductors are probably, one of them pulled out or something, didn't make as great of a connection. That's why I typically try to make them a little long, twist them together, clip them down, stick a bean on, you're good to go. So anyway, be right back. All right, we're back. So what I did wrong was on the top of the toggle switch, there's 3 prongs. So when you're mounting it on the top, negative is here. The power 12 volt out that you're trying to interrupt, that goes over to your Raspberry Pi, goes in the middle. And then the 12 volts in goes on the bottom. I had it reversed, upside down, whatever. So it's done, it's booting up. Simple little fix. Oops, we gotta lock the bottom down here real quick. And I missed my step. I just wanted this to kind of boot up first on its own. And we're gonna go back in and hold it on here. There we go. I'll put it in. We're gonna go in and adjust it to wireless. It should come up and say offline. That's because I don't have Ethernet connected to it, and I don't want Ethernet connected to it, even though I just upgraded it. I just don't want it on there right now. So I'm going to show you how to do that, if you've never done it. And I can't remember which keyboard it is. Maybe it's this one. It's definitely this mouse. So we're going to get out of this. It's showing online. Not sure why. It's probably, oh, anyway. Alt tab. So if you hit Alt tab, brings you to this window, and this is where you're going to get into your Wi-Fi settings. Right here. Bam. There's the new Wi-Fi setting, or the SSID. And it should bring us up to be able to log in. This is why I want a mouse and keyboard. Connect. now connected to that Wi-Fi 5.7.2, 5.7.2. So it looks like it did the firmware update too. So that's kind of cool. I don't know when it did that. There's additional updates, but I think that's all like Raspberry Pi updates. We don't have to do all those. So it's rebooting right now, I think. Probably as part of that firmware update. That's always a good sign when you see this pop up, because this screen right here is your custom set sorting. If you don't see that, you're not connected to the network. It'll just be all white. So I think we're good. I don't have to do anything else. Run custom. I don't think there's any set selected, because when it reboots it doesn't remember what set you're on. So that's a good sign. I'm gonna get it loaded. Oh, actually, I already did. So it's WorldWake. So we're gonna hit custom again. WorldWake is an older set. It's probably back around group 8 or 9. And sometimes it's hard to find. Innistrad. So this is where it's nice to memorize the year that the set's released, because then you can find sets. So I think WorldWake is older than Innistrad, so it might be group 9. There it is. It is older. So WorldWake. Close. Moderately played it is the best condition, because these are all well played cards here. Fixed. Alphabetical order, English, mail me a list, yes, go. So everything should be set. Boom, the stopper switch is working nice. There's still, I don't know if you can kind of hear it, the air conditioner is running over there. But right here you can hear the fan. Sounds like ball bearings are going out in that, if it has any. Maybe it's just the fan with like all that dust that's caked to the fan blades. Either way, it's producing a noise that one's not, and this is the newest. So I might have to just get a replacement fan for this. Uh-oh. It's already grabbing cards and sticking them in the pile. We gotta check the log. It's probably can't find cards, so we're gonna shut it down here for a minute and fix that. Card not found, card not found. So we got an issue. It's online, but it's not finding the cards. So we got a big issue. Oh, that's Rise of Eldrazi, not WorldWake. Boy, I'm a dumbass. Alright, so we're gonna stop this. Good news is, the robot's smarter than me, and it knew that that was not the correct set. So we're going to reload those back in that pocket. We're going to fire this up. Boy, I'm telling you, this machine is simple. We're going to go back to organize, change the set. That was group 9. Uncheck WorldWake, and we're going with Rise of Eldrazi. Where is it? I don't even know how old that set is. Maybe it's a group 8. Rise of the Eldrazi promos. Rise of the Eldrazi, right there. Close. We're gonna let this turn off. Okay. So we're back to fixed. Email me, yes. Moderately played, alphabetical sort. We are on the correct set this time. Send command, and we should be good to go. I'm gonna let you watch that for a minute as I break this table down. them back. So just kind of keeping an eye on this for a minute. We're going to adjust the cable that I ran through here and find a fastener that works in that tray. We're going to lock that down. We're going to do the same thing on this. I just want to get some productivity out of the second one. It's been about a month and I'm paying for a subscription and I'm not even using it. So that's a no-no. Don't do that. Alright, so this is working pretty good. It's nice to have both machines up and running. Can't wait to have the third. You're allowed 3 on the same subscription. Super happy. I got plenty of parts for the next machine. No idea if anything is wrong with it. I just know that I've been told that it hasn't been used in probably a couple years. So it's probably way out of date. It may not have the hole in the back, so I might have to do that, but I'm gonna do everything to that machine that I did to this one. And hopefully this weekend I'll have my trade all established as far as what I'm trading in, what the value of that is. I think that machine's about 2,000 bucks trade-in value. So we're gonna just do a straight across trade of products for a machine. So pretty sweet. A buddy of mine in Texas has it. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, better processes, just leave me a comment, let me know. If you have any questions at all about the Ethernet cable that need to be ran, the toggle button and all that kind of stuff, and getting the wire stripped out, and you want to buy both of those from me, like I said, it's probably like 20 bucks, and I'll ship it to you out of that $20. That just covers my time and the material, because I have to buy those. I don't just have those. So if you have these machines and you want those little slight upgrades and tweaks that I did to kind of clean up the front, look at that, no stupid ass cables hanging out of the front, no connections. I still have that one, which I'm going to move. If you want that bit and you want me to pick that bit up for you, just let me know. I'll probably charge $25 with that kit with that in it. I'll go to Harbor Freight, buy it, put it in there for you so you have it. But yeah, if you got any questions, feel free. Someday I might set up like a direct contact so folks can get a hold of me. Just FYI, this is about 2 hours of repairs and upgrades and tweaks. Some shops might charge you close to $1,000 to do all of what I just did and showed you how to do, and you can do for yourself. Uh-oh. This machine's failing to pick up a card, so let's see what we got going on here. Okay, it just dropped it. It didn't fail. So we're gonna let these machines run. They appear to be doing a good job. And kind of last thing I want to just talk about real quick is the reason why I have machines is so that I don't have to pay employees, and it's not because I don't want employees. It's because I have private property and I don't really want folks hanging around doing all this. And secondly, if you're going to make any money at bulk, you can't have employees organizing it for you. So you got to have sorters to do all that, and you have to almost do it yourself. Unless you have like a floor price for certain printings of cards like commons, uncommons, rares, mythics and stuff like that, then you'll probably be fine. But if you're like me and you sell at market value, you cannot afford employees, you have to go with sorters. And the cost of a sorter is less than an employee's wage per month, and they're fairly reliable if you maintain them. I haven't really maintained them well in the last 3 to 6 months. Like I said, I had to clean them, square them up, organize, make some modifications to them. But the one thing I did do about maintaining them is keeping them up on their firmware, making sure you oil the rail from time to time, don't over oil that, swapping out the electronics and stuff like that, making sure you have slack in your cable system here. That's the basic stuff that I've been doing, and it's just because I've been so busy. but now I'll have more time to spend with these guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. It was a long video, a lot of stuff we did, and maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, I don't know. But I appreciate all my subscribers, appreciate the comments. So, you guys have a great weekend, this Labor Day weekend. Some of this is 3-day weekend, some of it's 4-day weekend. I know I got a 4-day weekend, so get the hell out of here, get off the internet, go do something fun. And thanks for watching.